Nothing hurts more than seeing the one that you love subjected to the Neon Crew podcast.
Defoe.
I thought that I did an okay Defoe. I thought I did.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's very tough. He's one of those guys where it's like, he doesn't really change his cadence or his voice all too much. So he's got a very specific presence, but it's hard to replicate. It's not like Christopher Walken where you can just have an easy bullseye to hit every time. Or nearly every time.
Yeah, I don't. There's a little bit of shrill in the voice.
Yeah. There's like a very kind of like, he's always kind of had old man voice to me.
Yep.
Like even in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Just like very adult elder voice.
It's funny, I had to look up his age because I think he's looked this way for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like he kind of had a weird quality about him in like the early to mid 2000s where because of his hairstyle, I think he had this sort of odd looking, but also could be like kind of handsome in a lot of different roles and movies that he's in.
Sure.
But now I feel like he's reached the point because he's like, what, in his late 60s now?
I think he just turned 70.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've discovered.
Where he's starting to look more and more like the little kind of freaks that he plays. No offense to Willem Dafoe. I love the guy. He's amazing. He's one of my favorite actors, but definitely doesn't shy away from playing weirdos and kind of leaning into his unique look, right?
Yeah. I'm down with it. I think for, like trees, they get rings around the stump. I think he gets a wrinkle on his face.
Yeah.
For every, 5 years he ages, a new wrinkle comes in.
He's one of those guys that seems like he's excited to keep aging and keep looking more and more unique.
Distinguished.
Like the amount of crevices on his face. Yeah. Very distinguished gentleman.
It's funny because like you see him, and we'll talk about the movie, but I was like, man, this is 16 years ago, right? Antichrist came out?
Yeah.
I was like,
damn.
He looks, it's like smoother wrinkles.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. More refined.
The cliff isn't as jagged.
Like if you took a current picture of him now and like kind of put like a de-aged filter on him.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like that.
Yeah, a little bit, but not like, you do it to us and it's very noticeable. Mm-hmm. For him, I would do it and say, how much is this man aged?
Yeah.
And just the wide range of answers you'd get.
It's a pretty nebulous thing. You look at a picture of him and you're like, this guy could be 40, this guy could be 70. I have no clue.
I thought he was 80.
Yeah.
Like that was my guess when I was like, how old is Willem Dafoe now? I was like, how old was he when he made this movie? So I was looking it up. And I was like, wow, it's shocking.
Yeah.
And
how old is Charlotte Gainsbourg? Probably like, what, 15 years younger than he is, I would guess.
They both had, she's a tough one too.
Yeah. That'd be hard to pin down.
She could have been in her late 20s. She could have been in her early 40s.
Right.
Very like smooth, tired face.
Probably good casting on Lars von Trier's part.
Sure.
Just like these non-specifically aged people.
She's a Lars von Trier fan.
It's like, I could believe that these people had like a toddler together. Even though,
yeah, I mean, come on.
Even though they look like they could be almost 50.
I put them both like late 30s, early 40s in the film. And I was actually close with Defoe.
Yeah.
He's 44. No, 54.
I was going to say, 44 I think would be tough because I feel like he's already kind of middle-aged in Spider-Man, right? Like playing James Franco's dad.
This than in Spider-Man.
Was he?
He wasn't. I'm saying he looks younger.
Oh, yeah, he does. He looks younger in this.
Younger in this than in Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man, they like do a good job of kind of goblining him up, to get him ready for that green face.
Yeah, easy does it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 110 of the Neon Crew podcast. My name is Kyle.
I'm Mac.
And we got some movies to discuss. We're just going to jump right into it because Mac's got some business to conduct. Won't get into the specifics of it, but
don't need to.
We're just going to keep on rolling, much like Marty Mouser does.
Whoa!
In this film that we're going to be discussing called Marty Supreme.
I get to do this one.
You do get to do this one. Dream big, Mac.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, time to roll with old Marty Supreme. Newer movie came out Christmas Day.
Yes, right.
2025. So we got 25. Coming in at a robust 2.5 hours. Didn't feel that way. We have Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie, who, when I didn't know who, I couldn't remember who did Smashing Machine, who did this, right?
Yeah.
So it was a treat watching this thing because we'll get into it. It had very much uncut gems feel to it. And I was like, oh, I bet you Benny did this. I bet you Benny did this. Only to discover it was Josh.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he may have more of the chops when it comes to directing.
We can talk about it.
So I have not seen the Smashing Machine, unfortunately.
I have.
So my input may be null and void, but after seeing this guy can friggin' direct. It was written by Josh Safdie and Ronald Bronstein. I don't know if they're a writing pair or if he just helped out with some of the.
I think Bronstein's helped on their previous
Has
films
he?
too. Yeah.
Okay. Starring Timothy Chalamet as Marty Mauser, Gwyneth Paltrow as Kay Stone, Odessa Bazan
Yeah.
as Rachel Meisler, and then just a slew of characters. Like, the casting in this thing is exceptionally well done. One of the I don't even know who this guy is, but apparently Tyler the Creator as Wally.
You don't know who Tyler the Creator is?
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
I don't.
all right.
But there was a lot of talk about him. Our boy from Gladiator 2's in this thing, making an appearance real quick. Couple notable NBA players as well in this thing, which I thought was kind of fun with the Safdie connection and Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary, got to give a shout out to him too, as Mr. Stone.
Yeah.
Mr. Rockwell, I believe. The Penn Giant.
They got a piece of shit businessman to play a piece of shit businessman.
Yeah, how about it? And he knocked it out of the park. Who would have thought?
Yeah. What a surprise. Yeah. Kevin O'Leary can play an asshole.
Wow. So the movie opens up. Marty's in a shoe sales place. They're selling shoes, is what you do at these things. You know, kind of a pay less, as you would say, or what are they called? Anyways, he's selling the stuff. Lady comes in complaining that she had recently bought a pair of shoes, left her old shoes there. Come to find out, there's a little bit more of a nefarious act going on, and what we see is the Immaculate Conception happen, which was wild. Watching that go on.
There's a lot in common that these two movies have that you don't
necessarily
realize until you think about it.
Dude, it was plastered all over it.
Mm-hmm. Splattered.
Pun. And then so we find out, Marty's got big dreams. He's got big dreams. He's got to go to England to win the British Open in ping pong. Ping pong is becoming like a revelatory thing. It's the next new eye-popping sport that's going to grab your attention, and Marty happens to be right at the epicenter of it all. And one thing, we kind of get a little bit into some of his character. He's owed some money from his uncle that wasn't paid because his uncle is trying to kind of hold it over his head that, this is don't chase your dreams. Marty, being the man of no integrity, decides that he's going to get back his money. Has a run-in with another local employee that doesn't like him all that much, and lo and behold, he gets the money, makes it over to England, and he tells everyone, I'm going to win the British Championship. I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to be the face of ping pong. Well, the Japanese enter the tournament. One thing leads to another. Marty is on the wrong side of things, and this is all within the first, 20, 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. However, we get more and more introductions into how Marty acts, and this is a character unraveling, not necessarily to the degree of other films, but it is one action leads to the next action, and it gets progressively worse. So, let's talk a little Marty Supreme.
Spoilers for Marty Supreme. Very much in line with that kind of classic Safdie thing that you would come to expect from one of their movies, is a character who is an asshole, who's nefarious, who has more kind of like negative motivations in terms of like how he affects people around him, how he's filled with ego,
They love
with
dealing
like
with narcissists.
a big sense of himself, and views himself in a very kind of like narcissistic way. But it's one of those things where, and it's a lot like Good Time and Uncut Gems this way, where you just can't help but be compelled by watching this character, and in turn watching the performance that Timothée Chalamet gives.
It's self-destruction, right? But
it's like watching a spiral that just like hits every single wall on the way down.
Yeah.
But the way that they construct these movies, and we'll get into the specifics of this one, is so chaotic but interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Everything kind of ties back in. There's no thread that's kind of left hanging, and what you're left with is like just the investing interest in like how he's going to get out of these situations, like constantly asking yourself like how is he going to possibly overcome this challenge that he's in the middle of.
I did it more so of what's his next. Where does this next step lead to? Right? Like where is, it's not necessary for me. It wasn't like how does he get out of this? It's more so of like how can this get worse for him?
Yeah, because there's so many points in this movie where you think to yourself like it cannot possibly get any worse than this.
Yeah,
and then it somehow does.
In like very like middling degrees, right?
Yeah,
not necessarily like a couple of the movies mentioned before. The stakes get ramped up to the end level. Whereas in this one, it was just, it's very, I can't think of the word, but it's not to the fact that you can't overcome it or it'd be life destroying.
Yeah.
Right now, maybe for his ego or his passion in life. Yeah. If he can't get over, so we get the British Open. And the next phase is Tokyo is going to host the next World Ping Pong Championship. And his goal is he's got 1 year now to raise the money to get overseas to play again. And he is a ping pong passion. That's his life, right? All he does, he wakes up, ping pong, all he thinks about. And so all of these actions that he's taking is to get to Japan by the end of the film, and that's where you see just how fast can you raise money, to get over there. So
there's a level of propulsiveness that I admire about this movie that, you watch something like this and you think to yourself, I could maybe see someone watching this movie and thinking a lot of what's happening is pretty preposterous. Like, how can all of this take place to this one guy in like this short of a time frame? But you are able to kind of forgive it because of the characterization. Yeah, you would believe that all this stuff would happen to this guy because this guy brings it onto himself. Mm-hmm. And you're interested in seeing him get through it. You're even kind of rooting for him at a lot of different points because of the energy that he's bringing in, his like attitude towards everything. Like he's got a very kind of like, pull yourself up positive demeanor about like what he thinks the outcome is going to be, which a lot of it is like, very self-serving and like kind of to his own ego and his own view of himself that's very inflated. But I don't know, it makes it compelling and interesting in a way that I don't think a lot of other filmmakers and a lot of movies could get away with,
Yeah. Well, these guys got a pretty good, at least Josh does on, and I don't know if the Smashing Machine was like that, but a character unraveling. Mm-hmm. Like, one, there's a certain, it's a slow car wreck waiting to happen, right? I'm not one to sit there and watch a car wreck, but that's why some of these movies make me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
some people are. Where you're seeing it happen and you want to see the events unfolding as it's getting to that point. So I think they have that ability to pull a lot of people in. Another thing too is this is very much like, it's funny because sometimes like there's a heel, like WWF, right? WWE, right? The heels. Sometimes you find people rooting for the heels just because of their charisma. Mm-hmm. And Marty he's not lacking in charisma whatsoever, you know? And it's whether he fails or whether he succeeds, I think it's just the gravity that he has to pull you in. With how charismatic he is why. I mean, one, Timothy Chalamet knocked this out of the park.
100%.
But and maybe a lesser actor doesn't provide that frenetic energy that we're seeking. But also the confidence that he just bestows on us, is so you can't take you want to see what happens, and it's for me it wasn't like I want to see if it's pass fail.
Yeah, it's
more of just like, dude, what is gonna happen next? How does it he gets out of this situation? Is this gonna be the time where it turns around for him? Because some of these guys, you do feel like it's gonna happen eventually, And yeah. I mean, it's just and how we get, and even the last ping pong game, it's just it's the lowest fucking stakes you could have. Right?
I think it's a multitude of different factors that kind of coalesce together. Charisma being the first and foremost thing, but also Timothy Chalamet being able to lean into kind of the inherent goofiness of the character.
Yeah, because he's got a look.
He's got such a unique, specific look. He's this scrawny ass kid who's supposed to be 23 years old, who's got a unibrow, these thick ass glasses, and this kind of dorky wardrobe that he wears every single scene that he's in, pretty much.
Everything's over. It's just big on him. Right?
Everything's big on him because
swimming.
He's such a rail thin kid. But it's funny I say kid. He's only a year younger than me. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, I saw that,
which is insane. But he's going to be kind of like the Tom Holland thing where it's you're a forever boy until you're not. And then it's going to be a real harsh transition. But I think
maybe Leo kind of was like that. He's aged, man. He's aged into him.
Yeah, but he's kind of leaned into it a little bit, which I think, I would guess that Tim Cham would probably do a similar thing.
Yeah.
But, no, just him being able to kind of channel into that dorkiness of the character, but use it to his advantage and weaponize it in the way that he's doing, I think speaks volumes to the fact that I don't know how many other young actors could pull this off. If you try to think of someone who is around his age range doing this same thing, it doesn't work nearly as much, in my opinion.
Well, and you have to have that look to you as well.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking
because he's not unrecognizable.
Well, but it's not that. It's like Paul Mescal, right? Hey, we're gonna throw you in this role. We'll throw you in the glasses and we'll have you swimming. I'm that dude's too stoic. He's got a granite chin. There's no way.
I don't think he would be able to bring the energy.
No, and that's what I'm saying. So now you want to get a guy that could possibly bring the energy, right? But I don't know if we see. I don't know how many young actors I'm off the top of my head right now that I could I'm just thinking that have a very unique look and he's like you said, he's able to lean into it, right. And he plays it up.
Maybe Barry Keoghan, but even then, I feel that would result in a more menacing performance than it would
it's not his type, right?
Someone to root for.
Yeah, I was about to say he doesn't. He's very I don't know. I honestly, and that's when too that you nailed it is when people are I can only see you in this role.
Yeah,
For
me, Timothy Chalamet kind of won me over with Dune Part 2. I feel that's a movie that kind of serves as this is proof that this guy can lead a movie, a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And this to me cements, okay, he has more than just a few lanes that he can jump into. He's not limited to just either androgynous pretty boy or poster child for summer blockbuster.
Right.
This guy can hold his own. Because I don't know, people discuss this as are actors able to draw people in the same way that they used to, right? We were talking about how many young actors in this age range can pull in an audience and I'm going to go see this because this guy is in it,
Right.
We kind of had that sort of thing with Glenn Powell, it looked like, for a minute, with Twisters and a few different things he was in, but then Running Man came out and it's it's looking a little bit shakier. But it didn't help that Running Man was also just kind of a mediocre movie.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I don't think we're here to knock anyone.
No.
And you're gonna have some of your good movies, some of your bad movies.
It's just the state of things in the movie industry right now.
But I definitely think that Mr. Chalamet his name gets attached. I will be interested now. Yeah. So for you it was Dune 2. For me it was the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed his performance in that.
Yeah, and then, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, this one cemented it. Like I was, and it could just be Safdie's too. Who knows? You get Sandler and Uncut Gems, and you're like, man, I want to see him in some serious stuff. And then some serious stuff comes out, and you're like, all right.
I think it's a testament to both of them as filmmakers, and I can touch on a little bit of the Smashing Machine because I know you haven't seen it, but it speaks volumes to how involved their cast members become in the process of making one of their movies. Like, they're not doing anything like super method or transformative, but they really do seem to like kind of chomp at the bit when it comes to getting into the character and like doing the things that they would actually do. Like Timothée Chalamet talked about how he would bring ping pong sets to filming Dune or like other movies that he's in. And obviously you've got The Rock, who's like, not doing like anything super different than what he would normally do, but he like really kind of feels like it gets into the minutia of like, yeah, this guy's got like tortured demons inside of his head that like he just has a hard time dealing with and like communicating anybody with. Obviously Sandler going to like diamond districts in New York and learning about the jewelry culture there and like the hustle of that and like really getting into like the headspace of Howard Ratner. I don't know. It just it commends a level of respectability that I think these guys are just now starting to get recognized for.
Yeah.
Because Good Time came out and like, people were like, yeah, this is like an indie darling, but we'll pay closer attention to these guys. Uncut Gems was like kind of more proof of that similar thing. And now this one, it feels like, yeah, they're ready to have their moment, specifically Josh Safdie.
Yeah, I'm curious about his work coming out. And I stayed away from a lot of stuff on this because a little excited. Didn't know who directed. I knew it was a Safdie. I didn't know what one. And, yesterday, because I went and saw it yesterday, and people were asking, what movie you seeing, Marty Supreme? I said, we're being enthralled by ping pong.
Which is funny because, and, we'll get into spoilers, but the ping pong scenes aren't even close to being, like, the most stressful things in this movie.
No, no, not at all. I mean, it's just, literally, it opens up with them in the tournament, and then a good probably almost like two combined acts, right? Because we get out of the first act with him getting back, and you get the whole middle act with him trying to find some money, and then the third act is just how could we possibly get out of this situation, right? And I'm not sure if I'd say it started in Tokyo, where it's just that little blip,
Tokyo almost kind of feels like an epilogue.
That's what I was thinking when I saw. I was like, oh my, this is the cherry on top here.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the dessert after the main course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
Like, now you get your kind of more straightforward, like sports type of movie structure.
Yeah. And so that's what, like you were mentioning, the ping pong aspect of it, it's only here and there. And it serves its purpose. I mean, it's very fun. And, so you talk about how, like, not lame of a sport it is, just like who cares? But I was thinking, like, you're filming this, you know how many friggin' takes you'd have to do? Like, this would be the most annoying sport to film.
Yeah.
Because even in tennis, you can get some rallies and you could probably speed it up a little bit. But the ball's bouncing and you can at least get some stuff going back and forth, right? And the cuts are a lot
challengers,
easier. Yeah. Whereas is this with the takes in and of himself, like especially how these guys are friggin' railing on the ball, like I couldn't. I'm just like this had to be more challenging than what anyone's giving it credit for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like just that little piece in and of itself, which is just it fills into all of the other parts of the movie, but like just those scenes alone are fantastic.
Yeah. Do you like playing ping pong? Is that something you enjoy?
I did at one point. I had a buddy that had a table.
Yeah.
And I got another friend that does that, like the pen grip.
Okay.
as they coined it.
Yeah.
And
what Endo is doing in the movie?
yeah. When he walked out and did that, I was like, oh yeah. Like I think it's like kind of classic Asian technique.
Yeah.
Like Eastern side of the world.
Yeah,
but
I enjoy playing ping pong. I'm not like good at it by any means.
No, me neither.
I'd be lucky to get like 3 back and forths and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like regular tennis, I am woefully uncoordinated.
For you
But I
might
still
be
have
like
fun.
any athletic sport. I got
Yeah,
bowling. I could see, or pool being maybe up there.
I'm okay. I'm okay at bowling.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if this movie was about bowling instead of ping pong?
It's funny enough. Like I think some of the recreational activities that we now view, bowling. I think you could pull it off.
Yeah.
Like it's just because of how fast the ball's moving, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to. That's the thing with this too. Having this as like a backdrop and all of it, is ping pong's frenetic.
Mm-hmm.
So the frenetic energy that you're kind of experiencing with Timothée Chalamet walking around or not running around doing all the shit he's doing, it plays into the sport itself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no really beats missed when they cut from, escaping a crew of guys that they just essentially hustled back, getting into a ping pong table and doing it again. Like everything is just constantly moving.
Yeah.
I think if you were to do this, you'd almost have to pair it up in more of like a Zen type atmosphere, where it would be like darts.
Or yeah, you'd have to have like a lot of montages, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, if you can't go with anything that's not like hockey would be a great thing if this was like a hockey player, right? Just the back and forth on it and constantly moving. Like football is slow, basketball can be slow, baseball slow.
Well, it helps too that like it's not a sport that he has to like put a ton of gear on or like really
Right.
like get ready for or like prepare too much for. Like he can just hop in it and play ping pong, and it works for what this movie's doing in terms of like kind of tossing him back and forth in these different situations. Like the fact that you can have a scene where like he just hops into ping pong, but then he's getting shaken down by this mob guy who's looking for his dog.
Yeah.
And like immediately we're in a scene where like they're in the car together and like shit's gonna go south real quick.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's such a good decision to I guess like focus on that world while also like maintaining this level of energy that the movie's trying to convey. And I guess Josh Safdie was gifted because this movie's loosely based on this guy called Marty Reisman, who was like a ping pong player back in the 50s who wrote a book that Josh's wife gifted to him because she figured that he would enjoy reading it. Spoiler alert, he did enjoy reading it.
Yeah, enough to make a movie about the guy.
And I'm sure that he read the book and was like, oh, I could build a lot off of like this very kind of simple yet intense sport.
Yeah.
Because you watch like videos of like, ping pong players and they're just like, they're doing similar shit in this movie where they're just like hucking the ball like
I watched it
the room.
in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I've watched it, waking up early in the morning. I think like women's ping pong was on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's frenetic. It is constantly going. I mean, and the fun part about it too is like the now I didn't mind him jumping up and down, but I really like Endo.
Yes.
Where like it's constantly moving, and then all of a sudden it stops, and your body stops, and you go back to walking, breathing, and then it picks right back up. Which is one of the things I always thought some funny juxtaposition on all of this.
Yeah.
With how fast you're moving compared to then when the ball stops, everyone just starts walking again. But yeah. It's definitely, I mean, inspired.
Absolutely. Like this doesn't feel like I'll just do it for the shits and giggles of it.
Right.
It doesn't feel like a gag. It doesn't feel like it's just shambled together. There was a lot of care put into this movie that was in development before the pandemic. I think he even had Timothée Chalamet in mind. Like they became friends and were like,
he's been practicing ping pong 6 to 7 years.
Right. And it's funny because in the movie, Marty says that his age is 23. And I'm willing to bet that that's around the same age that Timothy probably was when they had the idea to do this movie together.
I wouldn't be shocked if he saw Uncut Gems and was like, I want to work with those guys.
Yeah, probably. So that brings me into my next question of like the level of kind of like stress and intensity that this movie kind of represents compared to something like Good Time or Uncut Gems. Because with Good Time, it's like one kind of consistent, continuous night. Like that in of itself is very much like a bottle movie. Uncut Gems takes place over like the course of a week, I think, something like that.
Pretty close.
There's like a little bit more breathing room in between different moments of tension that like kind of stack on top of each other. This one I feel like is a good kind of happy medium because you do get like a long span of time that you have to go through, but a lot of what makes this movie intense, I think, happens within like the frame of like a few days or something, like him trying to get the money. Because you don't really get like a huge sense of time in between like all the different situations that he finds himself in trying to get the cash.
They time-wise, they don't say, hey, this is the course of. I think the only thing that you can really bank it on is like once he gets back to New York, right? So he does this thing with the Harlem Globetrotters, which encompasses 6 to 8 months. I'm guessing somewhere in that range because he gets back, and that girl's 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Which going into this movie, I had no idea there was going to be like such a heavy pregnancy angle to it.
I didn't. Well, I didn't either. They do the intro. And
the
I was
intro's
like,
insane.
I guess I know where this is going to be going.
When the egg turns into the ping pong ball, that like turns and reveals the title.
Yeah,
chef's kiss.
Oh my god, yeah, he's very creative. They have a fun time making like. You really got to appreciate guys that can make movies like this.
It's funny because it's like the inverse of Uncut Gems. Because Uncut Gems opens with him getting a colonoscopy, and you like just you transition from like inside of his asshole
to out, and
then this is like a good flip on that. See the sperm eat the egg, as Charlie from Always Sunny would say.
Oh, that's right. So he goes from shoe salesman over to his buddy's place because he wants to sell the orange balls.
Yeah,
watch the white on white. It's like, see, your eyes are hardly moving. You can't even tell. Now watch the orange. Look at that. You're tracking it the whole time. There it goes.
Yeah, so you it's a great kind of character introduction because you're already getting a sense of like this guy's intensity, his view of himself, and also like his pure like just motivation.
Yeah, and I don't know for you, but I thought it was going to slow down a little bit. Like
No.
I really thought I was like, all right, we're going to get these peaks and valleys because it's ping pong. It's lame as shit, right?
Yeah.
And it does not stop.
No, he pretty much has that level of intensity with every aspect of his life.
Yes.
Like, not just ping pong, but, like, even when he's talking to the guys in the hotel lobby.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, this guy, he's constantly rambling, constantly going on and on about, like, how he's the greatest, how he's going to get it done, like, what he can do for them, like, in order to, like, sweeten the deal for himself.
Yep.
Trying to get himself a better hotel room.
Which he did.
And I don't know. It's great. It's compelling. It's one of those things where it's just, I don't know. To me, it's undeniable. Like, this is such a fun movie.
Oh my god, yeah. It's 2.5 hours, and it flows so smooth.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's ever really a part that you think it's coming to an end. Mm-hmm. Even when they got to the exhibition match, I was like, all right, is this leading into the next thing? Are we going to get like this, And I heard, I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere it was based on a true story. So as this is going on, I'm like, all right, these are all like loose details on this guy's life, but like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was a true story. And then, as you mentioned, Marty Reisman.
Yeah.
Reading, it's loosely based. And I was like, wow, this is like, sort of it's pretty much fictional.
It's a basically made up story.
Yeah, but to be able to do it in this light and to keep me enthralled like this, like it's a movie that I really didn't want to end.
No, I could have used like 30 more minutes of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if you had told me like, oh, there's a scene after spoiler alert, he beats Endo.
Yeah.
If you told me there was a scene where the guy who's like the commissioner for the league comes up to him and is like, you know what, I'll let you back in.
Yeah.
And then like we actually see him in the real tournament.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been all for that. I also would have been all for like another half hour of like him doing hijinks, driving around town, trying to get the money, like kind of scamming different people and like lying to them and like getting one up on someone.
Yeah.
Or like struggling to even do that. I think the brilliance of this movie is like you do kind of see the facade of like how he's affected all the people in his life start to wither away. And like this guy only has so much juice in him to be able to like swindle people over, or like get them on his side, or like make them sympathize with him, or like get one over on them. And then there's a point in which like pretty much everybody in this movie, with like the exception of a few people, are like, yeah, I'm sick of your shit.
Yeah.
Like, even Tyler, the Creator's character, is like, you're not going to do me the same way you do other people. I've seen you do that, motherfucker.
Well, yeah. I mean, to some extent, like, I think there's like an undeniability around him, though. Like,
For sure.
even when Ezra comes in there asking about the dog, and he's like, oh, you're going to take your time? I'm going to go do this to your girl. You know, the Wally, who's Tyler, the Creator, he's like, hey, where you going? You know, like, even after he did all that stuff, like, because essentially at the end of the day, like, once you find out the con, you're like, you're still a fun time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just going to, like, we start getting into something and you're going to try to get me into this, like, you're on your own, you know, but like, because I was thinking about like how much he's impacted all of these people, yet everyone would still come back. Mm-hmm. You know, the only guy that really tried to get away was Rockwell. Yeah. You know, hey, hop into my car. We'll talk about it. Come on. Mm-hmm. You know, drive off.
I like, we can talk about like individual performances and like which ones were our favorite. I really liked Tyler, the Creator in this movie, because it's funny going into it, the marketing made it seem like they were going to be rivals. And that there was going to be like, you know, oh, they're going to butt heads and like go toe to toe. No, he's like his best friend during this whole movie.
He's like a trainer.
Yeah, and I like the idea that he's basically Marty if Marty didn't have the like sheer motivation to like put himself on top. Like if he was just passionate about just playing ping pong whenever he could.
Yeah.
Because he seems pretty, like, you know, settled into his life as a cab driver, plays ping pong for the fun of it.
He's got responsibilities, and he accepts that he has responsibilities.
But he's also, like, really down to do some, like, nefarious chaos shit. Like the stunt that they pull over at the guys on the bowling alley.
Yeah. Well, yes. I think that he had, like we were kind of talking about, like there's a certain level that, in this thing, dude, Marty Mauser, there is no there's an end game, but to get to the end game, there's no hill, mountain he won't climb. Mm-hmm. Right? Like anything is on the board.
Yeah.
Whereas Wally and some of the other people do have restrictions. Yeah. I can only go so far. I don't have the juice to get past this, right? And I think with Wally and some of the people in like his story alone, you see what happens when you get pushed to that point where you're trying to keep up with Marty. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. And I think his pregnant girlfriend, Rockwell, like everyone that tried to keep up with him or get one over on it, like not necessarily get one over, but essentially keep up.
Yeah.
They couldn't hang. You know?
Do you think that there is a degree to Marty's character that enjoys a lot of the struggle and the challenge of everything that he's going through? Like there's a sense of like I'm gaining kind of like momentum and energy from this series of uphill battles that I keep finding myself in. Like part of the struggle for me is like the joy in the game of it. Like if I can get through it, if I can get like something up on this person, then I've done it. Like I've won this small little battle to move on to the next.
Honestly, and like there, I also enjoyed this really well because I could relate when I was like trying to coach at Ferris and I was doing all this stuff, like not to that degree or anything like that, but definitely the grind, the grit, right? Putting yourself through all of these things. I think for him, he was just so passionate. His end game was to get to Tokyo. If it could have been super easy, it would have been super easy.
Yeah.
Right? If it was super challenging, like what we saw, it was going to be super challenging. Like ultimately, he is a warpath, and if you get in its way, it's trouble. Mm-hmm. Right? And I don't know if he... Good Times is an example of putting yourself in a bad spot when you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, with this one, I think it was just everything got connected into the next step that he had to take because he is constantly shifting.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think he was like, oh, I'm going to do this because this is going to be super challenging and I got to see if I can get by it. Mm-hmm. It definitely plays though with like his character. So I mean, it's possible. I just saw it as like he is so passionate. It doesn't matter what he has to do.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like that, like when he got spanked with the ping pong, I thought that guy was going to do something else. You know, and I was like, he'd probably go through with it.
When he was getting spanked with the paddle by Kevin O'Leary, which it was, a real thing that happened. They used a prop paddle and then it broke, so they had to use a real one.
Yeah, and Tim Sham said, use the wood inside.
Yeah. I want my ass to be on camera. No ass double. You're getting premium Tim Sham butt right here.
Yeah.
But I thought that when Kevin O'Leary was smacking him with the paddle, because he says, like, this one is for my business. Son. Oh, yeah, this one's for my son. This one is for me.
Yep.
I thought he was going to say, and this is for fucking my wife.
Oh, yeah, I was ready. I was sitting there waiting for the point where I was like, where does he drop this? Where's that line going to come out? But it never was personal. Like that's the thing too with him. None of it. It was because it's all for me, right? I'm not attacking you to some extent because I know he had some quips, right? Like if you'd attack his character, but he wasn't gonna ever come out and just attack you for being you because he had to use you. I mean, he's a con artist.
Yeah.
So like it's only to the point where it's the dog that bites back, right? But you get it to that point, So I was waiting for him to drop that on Kevin O'Leary's character.
Yeah,
and it never happened. I'm glad that it remains kind of
Yeah, no, I don't think it needs to happen. I think it speaks more to the character that we don't really get kind of a resolution on that because that's just the type of guy that he is.
Yeah.
Because there's some lines that Marty has in this movie. Like, so I'll ask you, how many people were in your movie theater when you saw it?
Dude, this thing was crowded last night. It was, I don't know why, shit ton of high school kids.
There was a lot of moments where Marty just says like some off-color shit. Something along the lines of, I'm going to do to him what Auschwitz couldn't.
Yeah.
And it got like audible gasps in my theater.
Yeah.
And he would say shit like that. Or just like, whatever else he would belt off that's like, that's fucked up that you just said that.
Yeah. Yeah, no qualms.
No qualms. And it like, I don't know, very in line with the character still. Gwyneth Paltrow. I thought was very good in this movie. Probably the most effort that she's put into a film that she's been in the past, like, 10 years?
Yeah.
Probably. Like, since the MCU, like, she's in a lot of those movies and she just kind of forgets that she's in them. Whereas, like, this is, like, pretty involving. She's doing a lot of shit that, like, yeah, I haven't seen her do this type of thing in however long.
You kind of forget that she can act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's damn good at it.
Yeah, she's got a certain charm around her, too.
I read that this was a part that was maybe going to be for Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she turned down $20 million.
Yeah.
She said she didn't like the character. She didn't like the script. Yeah,
I mean, kind of a tougher sell, but because I understand it's a lot of moments where like the character's, being vulnerable, like, in these sex scenes with this younger actor.
Intimacy going on.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, I think it works well. I don't think it overstays its welcome. I think it's paced out pretty evenly. It
fits in with I don't think there was ever a scene that didn't really fit in with what was happening.
Yeah.
Everything played out kind of like how you would, if you paused and said, what do you think is going to happen next? And you were just to go off the energy and the vibe of the film, you could probably guess it and it would fit well. I'm
going to bring up something that I want to hear your thoughts on.
Okay.
But there's this thing that I've noticed in movies now where it seems like a lot of what is used to draw people in is anxiety, is stressful situations. Like how tense can we make the audience feel? How far can we bend this ruler before it snaps, right? And you get that in movies like a lot of Safdie brother movies, but also movies like Beau is Afraid or Eddington or Shiva Baby, where like the whole kind of point of these boiling points.
Yeah.
Where like the point of these movies is the anxiety and the pressure of it, like imposed onto the audience. And I want to pose this not necessarily as a question, but just sort of like a thing to discuss. Because I feel like certain movies, and I'm not putting this in this category, but I feel like there are certain movies in which there's this thing that I've coined as weaponized anxiety, where it almost feels like a movie's sole concern is just to stress the audience out and put them through situations that they'll cringe at, or like, you know, kind of like wince, or like not want to look at the screen for, what have you. And obviously this isn't new to movies as a whole, but I feel like it's become a thing that's increased in its presence with cinema, right? Within the past like 5 or so years. And I feel like movies like this or Uncut Gems are like great examples of like, yeah, this isn't just for the stress of it. This is also like a character piece. There's a lot of like dynamic filmmaking going on. Whereas like you have something like Shiva Baby, which is a movie that I enjoy personally, but I feel as though sometimes can lean a little too much into weaponizing the anxiety that the audience has going on along with the runtime of the film. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've thought about when watching movies like this? Or
well, it's the whole point of the film, right? Like, One Good Time come out. It's
2017.
Right? Like, it's...
So yeah, shit, almost 10 years ago now.
You know, I think there has been a little bit, especially with character unravelings, right? Like, that's the whole point. And if you can get someone that's... So I was trying to think about what character unraveling with a... like a story you just don't care about, or a character that you're just not interested in. Yeah. And I like none come up to mind, but I'd have to look, right? How much of that anxiety, tension, you know, do you feel, right? Mm-hmm. Because Pattinson in Good Time really knocked it out of the park. I thought he was phenomenal with it.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you end up kind of caring about what are next steps, and they do a good job with getting, you know, some additional characters in there to make him empathize with him a little bit. But that's the whole point of the film. And I don't, you know, I think some of these films, they do go in with that notion about how far, like you said, how much can we bend the rule before it snaps. I haven't seen one where I was like, they're doing this to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like Shiva Baby, if you ever decide to watch that,
it's on the watch list.
Yeah, that one to me almost kind of gets there.
Yeah, and if you can see, that's the whole thing though. What sucks about it though, if you can recognize it, then it takes you out and you lose that anxiousness, right? Like if you kind of like, this is absurd, you know. And that's the delicate line that you got to hold as a filmmaker too, which I kind of commend these guys for doing, because that's not the easiest rope to straddle.
No.
Right? So I do agree. I mean, yeah, weaponizing anxiety. I mean, it's a thrill ride. You know, some of these, we always talk about, I could talk about carnival rides with this thing, or movies, but you know, that's the whole idea with it, is that you're going on Zigzag Zoomer or Shivering Timbers, you know, shout out Michigan Adventures.
Local plug. I like it
every time, man. We got to start doing. We got to come up with fake commercials.
I know.
But yeah. I definitely know what you're saying, and I agree that I don't know if I'd call it weaponizing though. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be weaponizing if you're an anxious person. Yeah. You know, to me, this is more of how much of this thrill ride can we really, you know, squeeze out of this. And if you get to a point where you're like, this is just becoming gratuitous, that's when I would imagine it pulls you out as an audience member, right? Yeah. So Shiva Baby, like, whenever I see it, but the points that you're probably thinking about, if they had been eliminated or eased, probably makes that movie actually better.
Yeah, it almost feels like it can be something that's like a tool to abuse sort of thing. Like a button that you can just constantly hit to like gain easy points. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like Shiva Baby is an example of that, where it's like it's the closest that it ever comes for me, and I still think it's a good, enjoyable movie. Yeah. But this one, it's got so much more going for it, cinematically, character building, dialogue delivery, all that stuff, to just immerse you in this experience. I mean, the music in this thing is stellar. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites of the year.
Oh yeah, no, it's right there with me. I mean, this goes toe to toe with all the other ones that I've seen. You talk about kind of the type of genre it is, number one. But there's some other good movies out there. But yeah, in terms of anxiety too, and that's where we're kind of talking about the stakes. I think it's almost, it doesn't get you ever to really that point, just because the stakes kind of are so low, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's only a couple times where you feel it's life or death, but because of his passion about this, you feel like it's life or death, because for him, if he can't do this, there's going to be something that lives inside his head that nags him constantly forever.
Yeah.
Right. And and when they get to the final battle, essentially, you can just see that turn back into who I am and what I have to, like, you could have been like, you're going to get $10 million if you could walk right now and kiss that pig. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he could do it.
No.
His
pride was way too big. And I love the fact that, if we're talking about the ending of this movie, I love the fact that, like, once he does it, he, like, kind of just collapses, and it's almost like he, like, resets into becoming, like, a real person again.
A little bit.
Like, towards the end when he, like, owns the fact that, like, yeah, that is his kid. And
so that's, the ending's got some I
was thinking about this earlier. There's a Marty Supreme. Do you think there's a Marty Deluxe?
Oh, I was going in that route with a sandwich joke.
Really?
I was thinking about, like, when he said Marty Supreme, immediately I was, what do you get? You get the pastrami. No.
It does
get the roast beef.
If you were to throw, like, a movie-themed party, I feel like that would be just the name of a food item. Like, get me a Marty Supreme, huh?
Yeah, that could be a beer. Could be a sandwich.
Utah, give me 2 Marty Supremes.
Yeah, 2.
Marty pepperoni. Marty cheese.
Yeah, double down.
There's a lot of, ways in which Safdie can etch this cinematic universe together. He's just got to be wise about it.
Yeah.
What have we not talked about that you would like to talk about with?
Oh, we got to get into the music.
The music is incredible. So, who did the music this time? Daniel Lopatin.
Yep.
I'm trying to see
did
his
he
other
not
credits.
do Uncut Gems?
So he did do Uncut Gems and Good Time.
Yeah.
Which I was able to recognize in watching this movie because it is that, kind of similar dreamy synth.
Vaporwave.
Very vaporwave, and a very interesting choice for a movie that takes place in the 1950s, but I think it ultimately works to the movie's benefit.
Dude, one of the first songs that comes on is like an 80s song. Can't quite remember.
Oh, it's Forever Young.
Yes.
I want to be forever young. It was in the trailer.
Yeah. And they're boning down in the basement, right? And they're playing that song, and I was like
ripping her stockings.
Yeah, I was like, all right, is this gonna take me out of the movie? And surprisingly, it's a weird ass blend of perfect.
I think so because, like, the energy that the character has, it almost seems so, like, kind of manic and coked up.
Yeah.
That you could see it existing in the 80s pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly thought going into this movie that, like, I didn't know it was going to go as far back as the 50s.
I didn't either.
I thought it was, this is going to be, like, maybe late 70s at, earliest the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
But, no, I didn't expect it to be, like, so close to, like, post-World War II. But it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of discussions of, like, Japan is able to enter the league this year, and a lot of, like, kind of post-war anecdotes that are being touched on. This one character who, I forget his name, but, like, he like fights against him in the tournament, but they're, like, kind of buddies, and he tells the story of the honey.
Oh, dude, inappropriate laugh number 1.
But it's funny because I think I read somewhere that Josh Safdie was told this story, like this had happened to someone. It's
based on a real, so he was loosely based on a real guy. Mm-hmm. Now the honey, the story even of itself might be true. I'm trying to remember what I read, but there was a real Jewish man from, I think, maybe Poland.
Yeah.
And he represented Poland or whatever. I can't remember the country. In the 1936 table tennis championship, won it. And a German. So he went from Auschwitz to Dachau, right?
Yeah.
And I think they were like neck and neck for worst places to be.
Dachau was pretty bad. Yeah. Auschwitz being like the flagship.
Was it? Auschwitz was the
number one worst place. Yeah.
Dachau that was right there then. Because I as soon as I read it, I recognized it. But he got transferred from Auschwitz to Dachau, and a German officer recognized him. It was like, "Hey, we're not killing you." Now, as far as the story goes, I don't know how, but yeah, apparently that was a story that circulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very very weird. It was that probably was the only scene in the movie that I was like, that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I think it's supposed to juxtapose what motivates Marty as a character versus what would motivate someone who is a little bit more virtuous, a little bit more kind of like altruistic in their character.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
Because he is debasing himself in order to kind of like lift his, fellow prisoners like up.
Yeah.
In order to like help them out. And Marty basically has to debase himself throughout the movie in order to like, serve his own needs, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
that's kind of how I saw it.
It's a great way. I'm glad you pointed that out because it fits better now. Still a little
it's odd.
It takes you out.
It's
a little
off-putting.
Bit. A little bit. I just liked it as a fuck you to Rockwell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Like, hey, I'm sorry about your son dying for freeing us. You want to hear what we went through?
Right, yeah. I'm going to make you listen to this weird-ass story.
And the guy's telling it so gleefully. Mm-hmm. Like, you almost know that he's like,
He's telling it the same way he would tell a children's story.
Yeah. And his smile when he goes, nourishment. I was like, oh, God.
I feel like there's a lot more that you could dig through in sort of like the post-war sentiment of this movie, because there's a lot of like kind of 50s aesthetic. Obviously, like this was filmed in a way that would like, okay, that kind of makes it look like the times. Obviously, like the production value of it. I feel like there's a little bit more too in the way that characters act. In like sort of the intensity of everything, because it's not like Marty is the only character in this movie that's being like kind of manic and high energy the whole time. Like there's a lot of angry people throughout this movie, and you could say like, oh, it's the environment he's in, it's because he's like in a field that's so competitive. But also too, like when they're at the bowling alley, when him and Tyler the Creator are there like running the scam on the guys, it almost seems like every single person there is like just a little bit on edge.
Yes.
Of like, starting a fight or like getting into this like manic discussion with somebody. And I'm wondering how much of that has to do with like kind of post-war anxiety of like, oh, we got through this, but now we have like the Cold War on the horizon. And I read that the song Forever Young is about like kind of Cold War anxieties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm wondering if that is something that they were like kind of purposefully conscious of, or if that's just like kind of me digging into it a little bit. But
I mean, it could play into Marty's psyche.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know his age until he said 23. If you would have said he was 36.
Yeah. Because even like the simple farmer that they come across where like he thinks he has the dog.
Do you know who that is?
The actor?
Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't recognize him.
Do you know Penn Jillette?
Yes. No way.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
I'm serious.
I'm looking. Not that I don't believe you.
I think you don't believe me.
I need
you
confirmation.
can leave it at that. You can just say, I don't believe you. Now, you could always just follow it up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's Penn Jillette.
Yeah.
He looks nothing like himself.
The casting in this thing is remarkable. Now,
that is crazy.
Some of it may feel like stunt casting, but like, there's 4 people that you recognize. 3.
And not all necessarily because of like their acting backgrounds, right?
I don't even know if it's 3. Like you got Paltrow, you got Tim Cham, and you got... That's probably it. Yeah, Wally the Creator, maybe.
Tyler the Creator?
Or Wally the Creator. Jesus Christ. Wally.
My friend Drew is going to listen to this episode, and he's going to be shaking his head the entire time.
Is he a big Tyler? I guess that guy's like really good with... he's a music guy, right?
Yes, he's primarily a music artist, but he's also very outspoken in his views on movies. Like he's a huge cinephile. He recently did a video with A24's like official YouTube channel.
Oh,
if you get the chance, check that out.
Good.
He's got a very eclectic taste. Like, he'll name some off the cuff shit. Like, he named the American Funny Games as like one of his top movies. Like, towards the end of the video.
Jesus, so you get along with him well, huh?
I probably would. He seems like one of those guys where I think he would get along with most people.
He did a great role, but yeah, like honestly, I think there's two in this thing because the third one is Denise Azion.
Odessa Azon.
Odessa, yeah.
I think is primarily an actress. She's in Until Dawn that came out this past year. Heard wasn't that good, but she's also in this show called I Love L.A.
Yeah, that's with Shiva Baby. You're
Rachel
girl.
Sennett.
Yeah.
Queen Anxiety herself.
Point being is that the casting of this thing, a lot of people that you do not recognize that deliver all-star performances.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, fit into the mold of what Josh Safdie wants the character to embody, and it's kind of like been their thing throughout like a lot of their movies.
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk about like the Smashing Machine a little bit and sort of like, you know, play a little game of compare and contrast, sort of like give my opinion on like their different directing styles and where I think some of it is headed towards.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this movie cut from the same exact cloth as Good Time and Uncut Gems, sort of like pinning in onto that anxiety of it, that stylistic filmmaking, and kind of like ramping up the intensity. Smashing Machine has a lot of the same DNA, obviously. Like, it's Benny Safdie directing it, so he carries a lot of the actual filmmaking style into Smashing Machine. The thing with that movie is that it's so adherent to the real life story and like trying to authentically portray this guy who, you know, was a real person, was a real, UFC fighter who went through these notable things. And it is a lot more dry in the way it presents all of that. It's almost procedural in how it portrays the events of what that character goes through, Mark Kerr goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost curious what Benny Safdie's movie would be like if he like ramped up the fictionalization of it, or like he completely tackled something that, you know, he himself wrote that was like from his brain, like totally fiction, like whatever idea he wanted to touch on. I feel like he would still effectively deliver on what we would recognize as like a Safdie brothers movie. Smashing Machine feels more like an almost accidental meta take on The Rock's career, of like how he deals with not getting the win, not getting like a smash hit, and like the reaction to that within the movie. And it's also funny because that movie also didn't make money, so it's almost got like a double meaning to it now. But the Smashing Machine is more so like, oh yeah, this is kind of like a Rock focused like character movie about this real guy that Benny Safdie is like kind of lending his technical chops to, more or less, right? But
yeah.
That's pretty much the main kind of like comparison there. It's difficult to really like kind of get an idea of like what sets each of them apart in a special way, but
we'll find out. I don't know. I got to see the Smashing Machine. I haven't seen it.
Be curious what you think of it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Without a doubt. I mean, I like the Safdies, and if it's somewhat. Now, it sounds like the character is somewhat similar to Marty Supreme, or at least some of the, maybe not similar or frenetic, but character study.
It's more or less a kind of straightforward depiction of someone's like struggles with like drug abuse and you know, mental instability, and like, you know, how much is this sport actually taking out of me physically and mentally.
And I'm guessing he didn't have a fun time with it.
No,
he
but
probably put it more in.
It's not a movie that I think you're meant to, you know, have fun watching. It's more just like being captivated by the performance and like what this guy's going through.
Yeah, but you know,
whereas Marty Supreme, it's like, yeah, this movie's fun.
Like, you could, all right, take out the synth, take out, like, make it 50s, right? Like, take the Brutalist soundtrack, throw it into Marty Supreme. I think it brings down the vibe a little bit. Like, you don't have the tension. like you're saying that, weaponizing anxiety, like a lot of the music and the events that are going on with it really play into the character itself, right? Like it all aids what we're watching because he's 90% in it. So like, I think there is fun, a good time. I definitely don't think that guy was good in good time. And, it's the same stuff. You can have a fun time with bad things happening, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It sounds kind of like Misery a little bit. Now we don't, and also I don't want to get into the money talk because this thing, do you know what it grossed on the opening weekend?
Like 20 million or something, right?
Really? I got 875,000.
That might have been a limited showing because.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, December 21st.
Yeah, it's tracking pretty decent.
Good. Okay, because I was shocked seeing that number, but you're right.
I think the projections are it's going to get a little bit north of what it needs to do to kind of like break even, but it's going to do gangbusters on streaming once that release is there.
Physical copies. This might be added to the collection. 2025.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely picking this
poppin'.
up when it slides onto the shelves.
Yeah.
When I can easily scoop up that ping pong logo.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
For Marty Supreme. Was there anything else that we wanted to discuss with Marty Supreme? I feel like there's a decent amount we could get into, but we also do need to talk about Antichrist.
Yeah.
So,
no, pretty good. I think there's a
I'll
couple.
pass the ball to you.
No, I think that's it. That's all I got. We can get into ratings. We'll table it, if you will.
Okay. I go first?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to get right into it like Marty would. This is a 9 out of 10.
What?
Yep. Absolutely. Loved watching this movie. Would definitely be down to watch it again in a theater. I'm debating whether or not this is a film that I want to like risk taking my parents to see. I'm like, how uncomfortable would this be if
up to you.
Take them into the theater and like immediately like, oh yeah, we're getting scenes of him clapping cheeks. Like that's that's awesome.
That's all right. It's not as bad as, two chicks going down on each other.
It's not as bad as the next movie we're going to discuss.
Nope, that would be uncomfortable too to watch with their parents.
This movie is filled with great performances. Love the filmmaking, love the music, all the technical stuff going into it. I think the Safdie has done it again. And I'm very excited to see what Josh has cooked up next. Looking forward to see what Tim Cham tackles. I think he's more than proven himself as an adequate movie star. And probably my favorite performance of his ever. So,
wow.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so I went and I caught this last night. I think we mentioned, so whatever you guys listen, it will be whatever night it was that I went and saw it. Bunch of high school kids, right? Fucking the whole front row filled up with high school girls. People behind me, everyone's
like, Timmy, ooh.
No, they didn't give it was just like, hey, we're here. We heard to see this movie, so we showed up like sheep, right? Like we're not going to even think about it. We just want to sit down and watch this thing, and not even really watch it, just have it on. It's a medium in front of our eyes. Points, people on their phones. I had people like next to me.
You hate to see it.
Flipping their shoes around. I was so enthralled with this thing. Nothing bugged me.
You could tune it all out.
Literally like Jesse floating in Breaking Bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right? Like, I just couldn't believe. I'm so annoyed with some of the shit going on. I never get annoyed.
Yeah, dude, if there was anyone on their phone during my showing, I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
I was just locked in the whole time.
Like, could not take my eyes off the screen. The music in this thing is phenomenal. The cinematography, phenomenal. The way they shot it, phenomenal. Marty Mauser, a character that you probably won't forget. Like it's gonna live right there with Pattinson and Good Time. Like I don't really often think about that film.
Yeah,
but like when I do, I'm like, man, like
that film is brought up because of the movies that have come out after it.
Yeah, it started it. It perpetuated all this crap going on now.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't say crap,
beautiful crap.
Yeah, beautiful gold crap. Tough to knock it, man. Tough to knock it. Tight story. Doesn't have to be too deep. Fuck the ending. We'll leave it ambiguous.
Yes.
We'll leave it ambiguous.
Much like the film itself.
Yeah, you all have no idea what you watched or how Marty reacts to anything. This is probably the highest 9 out of 10 I could give a movie on first viewing.
Hell yeah.
Like, saw this last night. I don't think I've stopped thinking about it today.
Yeah.
You know, such a great time. Like, this is right there with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Thinking about it, I kind of want to watch it right now.
Right?
Like, if I didn't have work tomorrow, I would have maybe gone and watched a late night showing of it tonight.
Just sit down. Like, it's 2.5 hours that float by. Like, you don't really see. There hasn't been a whole lot of times where you get into 2.5 hour movies and you're like, boy, tack on a half hour after this, and I would feel like this is like a 2 hour movie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just it's such a easy, goes down smooth, the smoothest shit. So 9 out of 10. Probably next time we talk will be a 10 out of 10. Like, this is PMC. It's getting added to the collection at some point. Great movie. Go check it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Speaking of fun times.
Oh,
I recommended a movie.
Hey, all right, on to the reads.
Called Antichrist.
God, even just saying it out loud, I'm like, bah.
Antichrist?
Yeah, it's just what do you? How are you gonna go tell people to watch a movie called Antichrist?
Yeah, I mean it's
You know?
The title itself is almost a barrier for some people, right?
It should, most people.
I'm not watching a movie called Antichrist. That sounds insane. And you know what, Cletus? You'd be right.
Yeah,
it is insane.
Balls to the wall insanity.
Yeah, almost literally. Balls to the floor.
Oh my god. Ooh. Yeah. Yep.
So I recommended this Antichrist, stylized as Antichrist, but the T at the end is a cross. Stars Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Is directed and written by Lars von Trier. This is the second Lars von Trier movie we'll be discussing on the podcast.
Melancholia is the other one.
Melancholia is the other one. This is the first entry in his what he dubs as the Depression trilogy.
Can't wait for Nymphomaniac.
You know, not to like spoil my thoughts entirely, I think you're safe with me not recommending
Okay.
it. I think as far as right now, I think we've got our fill of Lars. And I'm excited to talk about this movie, but
yeah, same here.
Alas, there's only so much you can do and so many movies you can see. But anyway, Antichrist, pretty straightforward premise. All things considered, it's about this couple, this married couple who have a child who the movie opens up with them very stylistically, very cinematically shot in on a Phantom 4 camera in 1,000 frames per second, just like going to town,
smashing,
banging each other in various locations.
They call Willem Dafoe the smashing machine.
No, we'll get into that. But while they're making love, to put it kindly,
coitus.
Yes. You would say coitus interruptus, but they're not interrupted, even though they're
well, technically
they're small.
We'll find out.
Their small child, their toddler. How old do you think the kid is? Like,
I couldn't tell you. That was one of the things that kind of took
like 18 months,
helped.
Maybe.
No.
Like 2 years old.
2 to 3. Yeah, I don't think it. Somewhere in that range, not old.
Well, while they're making love, their kid gets out of the crib and ventures over to
fucking smart enough to get past that baby gate.
But yeah, apparently, ventures off to the window and just whoopsie daisy slips right out, falls and dies.
Inappropriate laugh number 1. The kid vaporizing essentially
when he hits the snow.
Oh my god! I maybe it was a nervous laugh, but I chuckled a little bit.
You know, I had a comment to myself because, like, obviously I watched this movie alone.
Yes,
like I was not going to have someone with me.
Spoiler alert: if you care about someone, don't watch this with them.
Unless they're a real sicko.
Yeah, or Lars von Trier stands.
Yeah.
In that case, I've seen it because he's only done like 6 films.
She's got a shirt that says "I heart Nymphomaniac."
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Depends on who you are, but anyway, I had the thought when the kid was slipping out of the window, of like, he kind of looks like he's having fun. Like,
Oh, that helped you?
Well, I was thinking like on the set of them filming whatever they did to like film that moment of like him like just kind of tumbling. It's like they probably threw him on like, I don't know, some beanbag or something.
No, they did it the same way they did Hans Gruber.
Oh, they for real chucked the kid out the window.
Yeah, they were like, hey, you've always wanted to fall, so we're going to try. We get one shot at this. On the count of 3, 1, drop.
It almost looked like he had kind of a smirk, like a smile. Like, yay, wee, I'm having fun.
Yeah. He doesn't know he's going.
But within the context of the movie,
yeah,
kid fall flat.
I mean, vaporized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The snow made it did make it look like he exploded.
It did. Like, I started laughing. Like, when I didn't mean to laugh. I'm like, this is very tragic. But, like.
And it's not filmed in a gratuitous way, in my opinion.
No.
Like, it's pretty stylistic.
Yeah, I mean, it hangs on the shot, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like gory. It's not like blood splattering everywhere.
None of this film, maybe besides the sex, I think is gratuitous. And even the sex kind of plays into a little bit of maybe what the girl is.
Right.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
But essentially, after the kid dies, they set off to this remote cabin to kind of process the grief, mostly for the mother character, and the father character is a therapist and is kind of using this as sort of a session of sorts to kind of get her through her feelings.
Yeah.
Because her doctor, her prescribed therapist says that she has atypical grief, and Willem Dafoe says there's nothing atypical about your grief.
Yeah.
And so he brings her back home, takes her to this cabin, tries to get her through it in the way that he thinks he knows best. Things kind of hijinks ensue.
Hijinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some wacky nonsense.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Antichrist.
Yeah.
So I recommended this movie mostly because
here it comes.
Of its status. It's one of those films where kind of similar to Grave of the Fireflies is like talked about as being like, major bummer, depressing movie. Like if you want to ruin your day, throw this movie on.
Yeah.
And they're right when they say things like that about this movie.
Yeah.
But obviously different sort of thing from Grave of the Fireflies, where like that movie has a lot of focused intent on building towards the moment that really hits you hard in that movie. And I won't spoil what it is.
Right.
But it's essentially like all kind of like heading to a certain...
It's a story. It's a story. It's not metaphorical
There's nothing like really abstract about Grave of the Fireflies.
No, it's building to a point. It's a story leading up that you can kind of see coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that slow train wreck, and that's, I think, maybe where more of the sorrow comes from. Because you really, you can't change anything.
No.
Whereas this one is more abstract.
It's more abstract. It's more kind of like...
very metaphorical.
Yeah, metaphorical. I feel like people have a perception of this movie in their minds when they hear the title. They probably think to themselves, "Oh, well, this is just like that torture porn movie that like Lars von Trier made, right?
Yep,
like because he's a sick freak."
Yep.
And this movie was a lot more artistic in its presentation, a lot more kind of... I hesitate to use the word authentic because I do kind of have some things about this movie that I think are a little bit like shaky on that part, but there's a lot more kind of artistic focus to this that does not feel gratuitous, torture porny. Like,
this is a narrative, and they play it off as a narrative, and it comes through as a narrative. I think me being one of those people, having heard about this film, I had a buddy of mine in college, so this came out in 2009. I think it was probably 2012, 2013. He was like, yeah, I watched this movie, and at that point, everyone had kind of heard about it, and you didn't have social media, and you weren't like cell phones. It's not readily available information. We're just getting hounded with it. This movie comes out now. It's everywhere, right? People, it's like, don't watch it. Can you?
Yeah.
So
like, you're gonna lose your ass when you see what happens in this movie.
Yeah,
like it almost became a challenge to get through.
It's seriously like, and that's how I get it like folklore, myth, legend. You know, like it's you can't throw your VCR will burn off once you throw it in, right?
Yeah.
And buddy of mine, I mean, he told me, he said, yeah, well, some shit in there. I wouldn't watch it. And so when he kind of presented it that way, I don't know. I was thinking like, and I haven't seen Eraserhead, but like more less narrative, right? More, hey, we're gonna do like a vignette style with all these horrific things that happen, so it doesn't really bleed into each other, right? It's just kind of these like standalone, you know, hey, here's 12 minutes of something else horrific happening. So in my head, I was like, I wasn't thinking it was gonna be a straight narrative. Definitely didn't know that it was going to tie in, you know, in my eyes, a little bit more of a religious theme going on, right? So yeah, like it definitely subverted my expectations.
Yeah, same. I mean, I went into this like kind of knowing a few of the details of like some of the more gnarly aspects of this.
Yep.
But one of the things I really appreciated about this was how it took its time to get to those places. It almost made it feel not like justified, but just like, okay, we're like getting into what this is kind of building towards. And I don't know, I appreciated the scenes where it was just dialogue. Like when it's just
yeah, because you know nothing bad's about to happen.
Well, or like you know that it's like developing towards this thing that's like only getting worse and worse from her perspective of like dealing with this grief in a way that just becomes like a curse, like she's trapped in this sort of like endless cycle of misery. And I guess Lars von Trier wrote this movie when he was like in the middle of his huge depressive episode,
depression,
that he developed in I think 2008 or 2006 or something.
I same thing. I think that's why he has the series, right? Like all these things that kind of impacted his thinking.
And I think there's a lot to be said about like the characters just kind of as having these pieces of dialogue trying to work through it in a way that's like, yeah, this is recognizable. Because you brought up Eraserhead earlier. Eraserhead is a lot more aggressively surreal in how it depicts, you know, the big metaphor of that movie.
Right.
Whereas this one, it's almost the inverse of that, where like Eraserhead's about like having a child and raising it, and then this one's about losing a child and like dealing with the aftermath and how that can affect you in many different ways. But it never feels like this movie is like too over your head. Like we talk about how this has a lot of kind of like, you know, different metaphors and like, you know, symbolism and like things that are represented in like not a totally direct way in this movie. That being said, I was never like kind of confused or like scratching my head as to like what things meant. I was more just like kind of wanting to dig deeper into like, oh, what is Lars trying to communicate with introducing these aspects of this movie?
Yes. That's where, if you hold it from a narrative standpoint and you just look at it, you know, just as a film in and of itself, like let's strip out any sort of additional meaning he had there, right? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to follow.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to say simplistic, right? But in the sense, it's a woman grieving and a smug husband trying to aid, right? Yeah. And you can kind of see, like in any sort of film, it would play out. Now, this has got much deeper meaning behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's not a shallow well by any means.
No. But yeah, in terms of just like from a narrative standpoint, yeah, pretty easy to follow and kind of keep up with, right? Like you're never scratching your head kind of wondering how do we get here, what's going on. And there's even moments that you know, that I did enjoy that get brought up that kind of never get discussed, but it's there for you to think about.
Like what?
The shoes, right? The kid with the shoes,
yes.
And you know, she hears him crying and finds him in the barn. Like, why is your kid in the barn? Never gets revisited, never explained. The idea with the shoes and why she was switching it up, was she treating him kind of like the foe and just as a person with a penis, you know, or was there anything more sinister, or maybe she just didn't know, you know? But it's like there's a couple of those aspects that get touched on lightly and never like, hey, we're explaining to you but it doesn't feel like we're rushing away from it.
Yeah.
Right. It's all very subtle, and I think that plays really into the melancholy of this film too, with some of the things that they do with these subtle notions here and there, that he can drift away from, that he presents and doesn't have to explain any more, but it doesn't get lost in the folder and the shuffle, or it's not intended to subvert, right?
Yeah.
So that's I think it's a well-made movie. Like, this dude, I mean, he made a well-made movie.
Yes, I think that this movie structurally, I think from a craft level, I think it's very compelling, especially the way that it's shot. I mean, he employs a lot of the same kind of cinematic language that he uses for Melancholia,
yes,
with a lot of like the very kind of painterly, slow-mo, like kind of transition shots, and like, characters will have monologues and we'll just be seeing Charlotte Gainsbourg walk through a field, but it's like one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. Like,
yeah,
it's very compelling looking. I think to get into some of the issues that I had with this,
sure,
one of the bigger things is, and I would never doubt Lars's personal experience. I would never want to make light of what he went through while making this movie, because obviously this movie is so melancholic, depressing, dark. It is a brutal watch in a lot of different ways, not just like with the scenes of violence, but just like on a pacing level and on an oppressive level, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if some of what he put in this movie is as authentic as a lot of this movie ended up being. So what I mean by that is, you've got these very long scenes where the characters are having these like very kind of quiet, intimate dialogues with each other, and you're meant to take it very seriously. It's supposed to be something that like has a lot of weight to it. And then you get moments where it's like kind of, this is like more towards the end of the movie, but when Willem Dafoe's kind of like just, it's the aftermath of like when I think he like strangles her to death. Mm-hmm. And like he's kind of like moseying out through the woods, and he sees the three animals. I forget what the movie calls them.
Three beggars.
The three beggars, thank you. He sees the three beggars, and it's almost like they look like force ghosts. Like they're just kind of there, like looking at him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's just me thinking that it's being hit over the head a little too much, or if Lars von Trier thinks that that's something that is maybe not necessarily clever, but just like deep and impactful for the moment. It almost felt like a little too much for me.
With the three beggars and like them making
just like kind of being there, like tying it all together of like, yeah, this is like confirming what you already were.
Call them forest ghosts?
Thank you. Force ghosts, like from Star Wars.
Yeah, the Ewoks?
Like they're standing there in the same way that like Anakin, Yoda, and fucking Obi-Wan.
I know, I got you. I know, is that their title in Star Wars?
I think that's what people call them, is force ghosts. Force ghosts. Okay. Like, use the force.
Oh, force. Oh, I thought you were saying forest because they were in the forest.
No. I mean, they're kind of forest ghosts in a way.
Yeah. All right. I got you. I don't
know. Just something about that kind of took me out of it. And it made me kind of look.
Oh, that's what took you out of it.
Well, it made me look back at like different parts of this movie and like almost like retroactively think like, what parts of this were like hyper authentic, like deep within the well of Lars von Trier's emotional psyche, and how much of this is kind of like him being a little tongue-in-cheek about it. Because watching The House That Jack Built,
yeah,
obviously that's a movie that's like, a lot of it's so tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much about that movie that's just like meant to be played for like super dark, dry humor.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if there's like a little bit that like kind of seeped into this movie that to me doesn't quite mesh with the like 99% like oppressive, dark, like just dreary nature of it. Does that make sense?
Of course. I mean, yeah, I got you. I know what you're saying. Like, hey, like okay. So what Kyle's essentially saying is, I am saying I feel depressed. I feel depressed. I'm going to make this film. I'm feeling depressed. You know what? That kind of made me laugh. We're going to put that in here. right? And then you lose a little bit of that sense of like, how sad are you? Right. This thing, and I don't know much about religion, and I'll throw it out there. This felt like a battle with God in a sense, a little bit of the Adam and Eve, but also it felt a little bit more him kind of poking fun at this, and in a weird sadistic sense, him getting his laughs out of it.
Yeah, like almost like kind of laughing through the pain sort of thing. Maybe.
Yeah, like kind of, you got the guy, the meme with the frowny, the happy face, but he's crying.
Yeah,
or whatever they put on the thing.
Mask. Yeah,
and the tears are behind him. A little bit of that, a little bit of I'm calling bullshit on this and doing it in his own style. Like, man, I hate to say it, I laughed a couple times in this thing, and I did it feel oppressive, dark, dreary, however you want to describe this thing. I had a little bit of a sense that he was kind of, it felt like he was like, man, this feels good to get this off of me. And I think that's where some of the points of humor come in. I don't know. I think that the kid dying and him falling, like, that was supposed to, like, hey, like, obviously this is a tragic thing, but like it almost felt like a detachment of sorts the way that it happened. And like, and it might have just been my frame of thinking because that thing happened very quick early on, and I went, oh, okay, like he's gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Like this isn't necessarily just gonna be I am bearing my soul into this thing with all of this grief. Like I will find some points of humor. So, I mean, I laughed a couple times. Like when he's trying to kill the fucking crow.
Yeah,
it was like Jim Carrey and me, myself, and Irene with the cow.
Yeah, there's something to this movie kind of having those moments of like not necessarily levity because it's still like bad shit that's happening.
It's dark humor.
It's dark humor that's like etched in sort of like the nature of like dealing with something real.
Oh yeah.
That I think like I don't know, to me it's like it's something that I'm still kind of like reckoning with. There's also this sense of like hard to attach yourself to a situation that you have never been through and will hopefully never be through. What these characters go through. That being said, there was never a point in which like I was too like anxious or worried about what was going to happen with them. Like I didn't feel like I was too into like what their outcome was going to be, just purely because I think part of that for me is like knowing what was going to take place a little bit, like knowing where it was going to end up. Like, oh yeah, they're going to like basically torture each other and like all this bad shit's going to happen to them. It's just like,
oh, that makes sense. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had no idea what was going to happen.
I think I had come across the scene in which she like smashes his dick with a wooden plank.
Oh, okay.
Before
on Reddit.
Like during some YouTuber edit or something, just kind of place it in.
I'm gonna start my day. It's Willem Dafoe. Oh, get out of there, whoa! I had no idea. So like
like, did you ever find yourself emotionally invested in what was going on between them? Like, there's this level of detachment I have with it that it's, I don't know, it's just hard for me to...
No, I got you. Yeah. I don't... There's so... You have to connect with the characters, right? And I don't know at any point we were supposed to. Like, I don't know if that was what...
Right.
I don't think he's going for that of more so of what he's trying to explain or what he's conflicted with when it's, with the religious aspects of it all.
You're absolutely right, because, he doesn't even give them names.
Right.
Like, their names on the script are literally just, like, he and she.
Yes, and it's funny, because I didn't know that. I didn't know anything, and we're watching the thing, and halfway through, I'm like, what's his character's name? Because I was like, I haven't heard either of them address each other as...
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, whatever, once this thing ends, I'll figure things out. And I think maybe that's when I was like, I'm going to look up Willem Dafoe's age, and I just saw he was labeled as he. And I was like, wow, that's weird.
It is very purposefully, like, just kind of keeping you at a distance anyway, of, like, these characters more so just, like, represent the kind of like abstract meaning of what they're going through, as opposed to like actually being fleshed out and like
manifested,
something that you can like emotionally get invested in. That being said, when you write characters like that, but then have the movie be so sad in the way it's framing the situations, it's almost like a push and pull of like, all right, do you want us to feel a certain way? Like, do you want us to like relate to you, or do you want us to just purely kind of surface level observe the things that are going on in your head, right? Like, how much of this am I supposed to like kind of give myself to in order to like get into the events, you know?
It makes it challenging as an audience member.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like he's not concerned with like making you feel comfortable.
No,
at all. Or like bringing you in. He's not like in a warm cabin, like waving you in, going like, "Come on in, son."
So I was wondering about this thing, watching it. I feel like it's a manifestation of grief, but I feel like that's the lady's, the she character, right? And then you have the manifestation of rationalization, which Defoe presents, and you have these battles of what am I able to consciously commit to and understand, you know, in terms of my reality versus what emotional weight or bearing is really weighing down on me right now. So, you know, I think to me, like, taken away, because the other one, I was thinking about Adam and Eve the whole time, and I don't, like I said, I don't know shit about the Bible. It's just like it feels something along those lines. But those two objects pitted against each other are thoughts. So if you're not necessarily viewing them as characters, but more so as concepts or ideas, now makes it a little bit, I mean, to me, a little bit more relatable, because it's interesting to watch your emotional self go against your rational self.
Yeah.
Right? What am I able to make of this world versus how do I feel about the world? And it's points that pop up here and there, and it's not always the same, because like it's easier when there's no dialogue, or they have like these bouts, you know, with very slim, like, hey, don't think about that. Well, how can I not? You know, versus like when they get into like, hey, you researched like 1,600 women like killing themselves. What's up with that?
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah, you want to talk about that, dog?
Yeah, that took a change. Yeah.
No, there's nothing really like super subtle about like the religious themes of this movie. I mean, they're in an environment that they call Eden. You know, I think there's this, what fascinated me the most about like kind of the more symbolic nature of this movie is, speaking of nature, how they talk about like
Forrest Ghost.
Well, not only like the nature that we think of in terms of like, you know, plant life and animals and like the natural world, but also human nature.
Yes.
And how is the nature of women, at least like framed within this movie, like, is there like an inherent evil there? Or is that just a product of like years and years and years of like oppression and targeting women as like witches, or like just general misogyny and like, you know, just the history of like abuse towards them? And how Lars von Trier basically framed this movie as, what if Earth was created by Satan instead of God? And that was originally going to be like a more punctual thing that he was going to touch on when he first wrote the script. But then I think one of his producers like leaked it out that was going to be what the movie was.
Oh, that's what stopped him.
And he like had to go back and rewrite it, so it became a more like kind of centralized story of like this grieving couple.
Yeah.
But essentially he had that as like the basis, and obviously it like carries into this version of the movie in a lot of different ways. But that's what interested me the most, is like, yeah, nature is this thing that we think of as like being so beautiful and like caring and inviting, and like look at how beautiful and pretty it is with like all the cute animals. And it's like, no, nature can be fucking terrifying and nightmarish at points. Like, this is a thing that like would chew
Soak
you
in
up
the
and
natural
spit
order
you
of
out
things.
and not think twice about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even look at it, but the human nature. We've kind of when you talk about the female character on this, it's years and years of natural order, right? Of you birth the child, you raise the child, you care for the child. You're reduced to this life of serving. Right, like you become selfless at points, and it's what happens if we revolt against that.
Yeah.
She sees her kid when they're mid-coitus and she doesn't stop. She puts herself above the child.
Yeah.
And it's almost like how could this have gone for women, if a turn of events happened at some point, and her, I think, her control or her dominion over he. Is that really his friggin' name? He? I have to call him he in this thing?
You can just say Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. That's fine with me. Or man and woman.
Man, yeah. The dominion over man, was anytime that she had sex with him, right? Mm-hmm. That was the only time that she could really neuter him. Tough words. Yeah, and so it plays into if we had used these powers, and it the whole her whole freaking case study with the 1600s women thing is what tripped me out. Like I'm just like, this is the one that doesn't feel as if it made sense.
Yeah,
and I feel like because of how much sex there is in this thing and how much they're really, I don't know. She's playing up to the villain, right? And she's done everything wrong for what we perceive for what women to do, right? That it got thrust in there for Defoe father to be the voice of not necessarily reason, but to speak out against misogyny.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how could you let this influence your mind? And like, look at what they've done to women, during these times and from here on out, and kind of saying, hey, I know there's all this stuff going on, but really, like this is still unfair. Mm-hmm. Right. So that took it out a little bit for me. I don't know, narratively speaking, is that a thing?
Narratively speaking?
Yeah, if that's thrown in there to kind of give her the madness that ensues, right?
Right, like how much of this is just kind of like an easy excuse to like frame her as like the villain, air quotes.
Yeah.
And, I think there is like an effort to tie it into the idea that nature being so kind of like ambivalent towards what is considered like right and wrong.
Oh yeah. He brings that up
because you get the scene where he like sees the deer, and the stillborn is like hanging out of the deer.
Yeah,
and it's a haunting image, and it's this thing of like, how much are we supposed to give towards caring about something? Like, should we fight against nature's idea of ambivalence, or should we just give into the fact that sometimes things just fucking die?
Yeah,
sometimes shit just happens that like either you can't control, or like maybe you do have some influence over it, but like it just takes place anyway, and like that's that. Like,
yeah,
how much of it should you dwell on? Like, how much of it is something that like is worth putting energy over towards grieving? And I don't know, I don't think he's like putting a exact statement on that of like, you should feel this way. I think he's just like posing the question of like, what if this is how people just thought, like, the whole time? Of like, what if this is something that like we actually wrestled with? Like, how would we react to that? Like, would we deal with it, or would we go mad and like try to kill our husband?
Yeah,
by inserting a giant screw into his leg and attaching a weight to it.
Yeah. Sorry, a lot of just.
It's a lot to soak in.
A lot of images.
A lot of images to soak in.
We're trying not to. Oh, batten down the hatch.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think this thing, there are points. I was just thinking, I don't know what a existential crisis looks like. This had the feeling of one. Mm-hmm. And then, is it Tarkovsky? Tarkovsky getting the in memoriam
Yeah.
at the end of this thing as being one of the. He wasn't a nihilist, was he?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say. I mean, I've only seen Stalker, and I don't know the guy's what his deposition was as far as his philosophies. But,
So interesting. Yeah, Stalker.
yeah.
I forgot he directed that.
He basically died because he made that movie.
Dude, I fucking watched this thing, and about 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, this is giving me not like the movie itself, Stalker vibes, the thoughts, the thought process, and the thinking about the movie. I was like, this is like Stalker vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's wild.
Just kind of like the philosophical ponderings of like man's relationship with nature.
Yeah, well, and like you mentioned, I mean, that he poses those questions. Now he does it in the sense of, I mean, this is almost life and death, right? And what's fair, or how should you feel about certain events happening? Like what? I don't know, man. He's just the emotional state that he's in. I feel like he was really conflicted with like, how am I supposed to feel about these feelings?
No, I think it shows in the movie, and like I mean, leaves people like you and me conflicted on kind of like certain aspects of how we feel about it. Obviously, I think this movie objectively just has craft to it that is just undeniable. And a lot of the music choices, the way that it's framed, the performances even are just something that are like kind of undeniable to me. It's just how your relationship with the subject matter impacts the way you view this movie is just like kind of where it's left for you, right? Like that's just kind of like how you meet the movie at its level. Because like I don't know, a big thing that I kind of ask when watching movies now is like, how much am I willing to forgive? And it's not like there's things about this movie that are like completely unforgivable for me.
Are you playing God?
But it's just like, how much of this am I willing to acquiesce to in order to like kind of let in, right? And there's just some things about this movie that I'm like, obviously this is not one I'm going to rush to like rewatch.
You don't say.
This is not one that I think like is as surreal or like deep as something like a Charlie Kaufman or a David Lynch movie. But I think this does have like a lot of value in terms of like discussing what it's going for.
Oh, I think this is it's not really going for the surrealism though.
No.
Right?
I mean a few things, but it's a lot more straightforward in what those things mean. Doesn't mean they're not completely surreal.
Yeah,
right?
that's why yeah.
I don't know. Funny movie. Hilarious. 2 thumbs up.
No, there's some haunting imagery in here.
So was there something that took place that affected you the most? Like what did you most like kind of cringe at, or like what got you?
Dick stomping.
Yeah.
The other scissors.
That
caught me off guard.
That I did not know about.
Oh, you didn't?
No, and that I think affected me more than Willem Dafoe getting hit with a block of wood.
Okay, so it's actually funny. We're on the inverse of this.
Yeah.
So you had known about that, and you were kind of prepped, or when it happened, you were like, oh, that's it.
I was a little bit prepared for it. Like
I was not for that.
I know this is a thing that's going to happen.
Because that point, she just kind of started losing it, if you will.
Yeah.
So wasn't that came out of left field for me? It really did. That was like, whoa. And then the events that follow, like that whole 45-second exchange of flesh and wood, both sides. The other one I was kind of prepped for, like the one film or the podcast I listened to had talked about it, right? Like not extensively, kind of mentioned, as like in joking manners, like things that you won't see. Because they were talking about, there was something they were talking about. The Fox came up, chaos reigns,
which is Willem Dafoe's voice, by the way.
Is it really?
It's just edited to make it sound
distorted and low and all that shit. Yeah, I mean that was a fun. So I saw that and I actually laughed at that part, but I knew that the second, and I was like, when is this happening? And then I was like, oh, this is it. So that wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
I think that those two probably the most haunting out of all this.
To be fair, there's not like it's not like wall to wall bad shit happening. You know, we talked about it earlier, but like it's not like a torture porn thing.
He presents death in a light that's, I don't want to say realistic, but it's not. It's held in a vacuum.
It's very kind of naked faced about a lot of what it's touching on.
I mean, like literally the deer with the stillborn, right? Like I'm like, I don't know if that's how that happens, but I guess if I was walking out in the woods and saw that, I wouldn't be completely shocked.
Yeah.
The fox, I didn't realize it was eating itself.
What about the bird with the ants all over it?
Oh,
That was kind of gnarly. That was a little gnarly.
I don't know, man. Some of it, like I'm just watching it and I'm like, I can't. So you took it on the emotional level. I mean, I was like face value with the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know what we're at. How many points can you show? It's like the Scream movies. How many fucking kills could we get that make this fun or exciting or gnarly or Final Destination, right? Like, what can we like the Rube Goldberg effect? So like, at points in this, I'm like, all right, you've made your point. And like you can continue to show me like weird ass things dying. Like I'm like, I know what death is. You know, like we're gonna see this stuff. And
like, how much of this do you really need to hammer home in order to like push across the same message, right?
You know how we talked about weaponizing anxiety?
Yeah.
I think you can weaponize all that stuff. I thought he was weaponizing death in this thing, and you get to a point where you're straddling that line, and it's like, oh, let's add one more of these things in there. It's like, all right, come on, man. Like, you know, so I don't know. I mean, that's like in terms of physical violence, those two things. Imagery of itself, I don't know. I mean, all this stuff, I mean, it's like that shit happens. You know, so but the two physical acts at the very end there is probably what will. I mean, just walking around today, man, I was fucking going to the bathroom and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know, like God damn it,
right? How much of the mundane do we like come across and like react in the same way that we do to the shit that happens in this movie?
What do you mean, like what?
I don't know, like you go to the movie theater, you go to the bathroom stall, and stall doors open, and there's just like a big old shit dump that's sitting on top of the toilet seat. And it's like, oh, God. Man. Like,
never not going to see that again.
Or like, you know, roadkill or, you know, something dealing with death in a way that's like kind of mundane and banal and like just an everyday thing that we just grow numb to. I don't know.
I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to say numb to it.
Sure.
You watch these films and it's the job of the director to take you out. And at points he did. I mean, I was like in this thing, but there are points where it's like, all right, this is like, it feels as if he's trying to inspire something, right? And that takes you out of it. So I don't want to say like I'm numb to it, but I mean, there are like, I definitely think that you can overdo it. You know, like a movie that gets close but doesn't is fucking Funny Games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's any point in that where your uncomfortability doesn't ever exceed like an 8, but he keeps you at an 8 the whole time. Whereas this one, in terms of what he was trying to show with some of the imagery and coming across and what, it just felt like you going like, this will really get them, you know? And that's what takes me out of it, right? And it's like you talking about Shiva Baby with the anxiety and overdoing it, and once they do that, you kind of just go back into like, oh, I'm watching a movie, you know?
Yeah.
So, but at points, this thing had the hook in me. You know, I was sitting there, I was invested in it.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much I was just kind of enamored by it, just with like the simplicity of it. Just like, yeah, these two interacting, like giving performances, but also like some of the shot choices and just like the pacing of it. Yeah. Like it went by pretty smooth. Was never bored.
No.
Nope. And I don't know.
Kind of leaves you guessing. There's maybe not guessing, but kind of questioning. And there's a lot of points for yourself to collect your thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, and you can put it into, you know, whether it's projection and you being in this situation, right, or reflection. In which you're kind of like, how would I handle this right now? Or is there anything that is like metaphorically I could attach to this, like these feelings or these thoughts? It's when you're like, it's a little too deep for me, you know? But I like the religious aspect or component to it. You know, how much is he questioning here? How much is he relating to? How much is he kind of flipping it on its head? Is he poking fun at it? You know, there's that aspect to me that kept me kind of going with the film itself, because it's like you're kind of playing a puzzle with it, you know, and you don't know what the fuck the guy's thinking. But it is always fun when you can attach some analogies or metaphors to it, and try to come up, you know, is this what he's going for? And this is, I think, very open-ended, because I think that it's just when people make stuff out of dark times, there's about a million ways you could go with it and how they're feeling. Besides depressed. I mean, it clearly looks depressed.
Yes. Can I talk about this fun little aspect about the movie?
Fun?
I don't know if you knew this.
Fun?
They were developing a potential video game.
Really?
To follow up this movie with. Yes.
Who's they?
So a video game called Eden, based on the film, was in the works, according to this Danish newspaper, Politiken, from video game director Morten Iversen. Apparently it was going to be like a first-person psychological horror, kind of in the vein of like Silent Hill.
Yeah.
You were going to basically follow Willem Dafoe's character after the events of the movie, of like trying to figure out why she went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yep.
And it was in development for PC, Xbox Live Arcade, and PSN. So, you know, you're going to be able to buy it online. Don't think there was ever going to be plans for like physical releases.
Be an interesting game.
Would be a very, to say the least, interesting game. It ended up getting canceled. And after the studio shut down that was making it, Studio Zentropa Games, the developers just couldn't find a home for it, and it just...
Oh, you don't say.
It ended up, much like a lot of the things in this movie, it ended up dying, and no one thought more about it after that.
All right, here's our pitch. We have a movie for you to watch, and we want to continue this on in sort of a psychological horror way. So why don't you guys check this out, and then let us know. And every fucking angel investor that they went to try to get money from went like, are you shitting bricks right now? Like, we can't attach our name to this. What are you talking about? Like, hey, let's go check out Antichrist. Good God.
The kids are gonna roll around and celebrate when Antichrist comes out for them to play.
The game was called Eden
on their Nintendo. Yeah, it was gonna be called Eden.
Like, that's a rated M for Mac. I would say, I'm not gonna lie, if that had come out, I after seeing this movie now, if you told me that there was a game, I would probably check it out.
Yeah.
I would be very interested. Now,
you'd at least look up gameplay of it on YouTube if someone recorded it.
If it was like $10 or $15 for me to get on the PS4,
yeah,
I'd check it.
Might be worth it.
I would throw down some money. Well, here's what I know. They aren't going to follow the emotional state of Lars, right? This is psychological horror. It'd be interesting to go through and see like how damning can they make this.
Yeah.
Now, I get to the first cutscene and it is like existential crisis, you know, questioning reality. I might be like, I'm done playing this game, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you bought a bad movie, right? Like how much? It's $60? No way. No way. I'll watch. No. Yes. At that point, I'll check out reels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me the Silent Hill stuff. But like $10-15 could be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, well, it could have been. It's just a shame.
Man, that is a fun tidbit, though.
Out. It was very fun to learn about that. I was like, I read about it. I was like, this isn't serious. And yeah, it was.
I think, the most unrealistic part in this movie was Willem Dafoe falling asleep with his hand outside the window. I have to get that off my chest.
It would be freezing, right? Like
I don't know.
Your hand would just be like, or at the very least, like the wet.
Had you ever fallen asleep with your arm your blood? Dude, like everything.
No, that shit's falling asleep.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way.
You're having rubber arm like instantly.
I'm telling you can't fall asleep in a suit. Like the pain in your shoulder would kick on. Mm-hmm. Like there's no way you were comfortably laying. It was elevated.
Yeah.
No way. I didn't buy it. I'm just saying it right now.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. His sleeping position.
He just got like that too. Like the window wasn't open before he fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Shit like that would just pop up where I'm like, I'm believing everything else, not believing that.
Mm-hmm. Shall we get into ratings for
Antichrist?
Let's do
it. Yeah. Okay.
It's off to you.
Oh, I gotta go first. God damn it. All right. You know what? I'm gonna say right now. I gave you a lot of shit for recommending this thing. Was not looking forward to it. Probably in the same vein as Stalker. I don't know if you recommended Stalker, I was like, oh yeah, or I was like, what is this? But hey, we're gonna watch some Russian.
I don't think you knew what it was necessarily.
Well, I saw it was like 3 hours and 40 minutes or whatever it is, and I was like, dude, this is a Russian philosophical film. And Stalker, like I said, I mean, it's one of those. It's a film that comes by. I mean, it's a slow burn. It's not as graphic as this, but like it definitely provides thoughts. I mean, there's some questions in here that the director poses on the audience member through the film, and I think that makes it engaging. This thing had some steam going for it. I think there are a couple different ways to interpret this thing or think about the film, right? And I would say if you're going through grief at all, like I probably won't watch this thing. If you're going through any sort of child problems, probably won't go through this thing. But in terms of just like wanting to put on a piece of media, I mean, it made me think, made me question things. I really liked the way it was shot. I thought both of them were pretty good. Right or wrong, I'm hoping that these images won't stay with me forever. At some point in the next 5 years, I forget about them. But I mean, outside of that, it's well done. So this isn't rewatchable for me at all. I think I've gotten everything that I needed to get from it.
Yeah.
But this is a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think this was a worthwhile recommendation overall. I think Lars von Trier is worth discussing.
He's an artist.
He's an auteur.
Yeah, he can fucking pick out all of his pain problems and put them on the tape.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those filmmakers that whatever I want to do, I just get the shit done, man. I think that was the tagline for this movie. Antichrist, get shit done, man.
Can I? Yeah. Real quick too, I wanted to say. So another part about it that kind of always flips your mind too. So did you respect Defoe? Were you like, oh, smart guy? I completely get behind what he's doing. Or
I thought he was kind of a schmuck because of how distant he was being.
Okay.
While his wife was clearly in tremendous amounts of emotional pain.
Yeah.
But he didn't like come across as like necessarily evil or an asshole. It's just like you're being a little too clinical about this very personal situation right now, buddy.
Yeah, like hey, I laughed when he was like, "I'm taking you on as a patient."
Yeah,
and that was like, all right, this seems like two idiots because she's agreeing to do this with him, and maybe he's throwing himself over her on like no choice.
Right.
Lars said that he's an idiot. He's supposed to be a or not a sleazeball, but he's supposed to be. I don't know. It wasn't schmuck, but
just like a dunce,
kind
of.
Yeah. Just not really recognizing the situation. So it's bravado essentially, But he said he was supposed to be not unlikable, but like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I picked that up 100%.
But I didn't. Well, maybe I did, and then I just kind of went like, all right, I don't know where we're going, because I laughed when he was like, I'm going to take you on as a patient. And then she was like, I'm going to have sex with you. And he's like, whoa, that breaks patient doctor, confidentiality or whatever.
Right. At the very least, I recognize that he doesn't have like a ton of grace with the way that he's approaching this.
Like you said, clinical.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely feels like this is like another challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I've helped out a bunch of people. I'm going to help out her. Let me see how I can do it, as opposed to sympathizing and grieving with her.
Yeah. It's almost like he's doing it as a way to kind of avoid the emotions that he would be feeling in those moments of like recognizing, oh, I've lost my son. How am I going to deal with this? It's like, no, I'm going to redirect, focus on her, and try to help her get through it, so that way I don't have to deal with it myself.
Yeah, it was like a way of deflecting, right?
Yeah.
I always thought when he was running into the beggars, that was his reality check. Mm-hmm. It's like when he saw the stillborn, with the deer, like that was like a oh man, like that just hit me. Could have been played for something else. I don't know, but at least the two. What he does to that crow cannot be forgiven.
Willem Dafoe in movies with birds always makes for an interesting time.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse being the other one that I'm thinking of.
Does he get attacked on that thing?
No, well, he warns Robert Pattinson, like, hey, don't fuck with the seagulls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That could be one that we eventually talk about. That's a great movie, too.
I fucking love The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
My favorite A24.
So you're up for it. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to get that out on Dafoe.
No, I really liked that. No, this is a movie that obviously, like you said, low rewatch value. Don't think I would ever revisit this, but it's one that's going to linger with me. I'm going to think about it in different, moments throughout my cinematic viewing experiences. It's one that I have a little bit of a hard time reconciling with. How much am I supposed to kind of invest myself in versus like, what's Lars von Trier's intent? Is this supposed to be like 100% like all in serious, like not melodramatic, but just like very melancholic, depressing? Or is there some kind of liberties he's taking with this of like, maybe he's taking the piss out in some moments or another? I don't know. There's a level of detachment that I just naturally have with a movie like this. That
probably good.
It's I think
healthy.
The less relatability that this movie has with someone, the better.
Yeah, when someone comes up and they're like, "This is my favorite movie." Yeah. Hey, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, right. Do you want to talk? You become Willem Dafoe.
Oh my God,
the therapist.
Yeah.
Just walk on this grass right here. Let the grass envelop you. For me, this is a 6 out of 10.
Not bad.
Yeah, towards more of a 7 than a 5. But
really?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's one of those movies that I just naturally held at such a distance that I'm like, okay, like this movie, there's like a little bit of antagonism here. This movie doesn't want me to fully enjoy it, so in that sense, I'm kind of doing what it wants me to do.
Makes you think.
Makes you think.
What you're saying right now makes you think.
Right.
About
intent.
Just saying.
Yeah.
That's how deep the movie can go.
It's a well. It's not a puddle.
Definitely not a puddle.
Cool. Well, one more bit of business to take care of.
Am I allowed to like tell people that I gave it a 7 out of 10? Like,
I think you're allowed. Yeah.
What point? Well, you know what? You know what you do?
You could tell them you gave it a 10.
You just don't tell anyone you saw it. You just kind of let it be. And then you don't have to own up to all of the thoughts, that it's not that bad. And then have someone look at you like you're not fucking insane.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, you show them that, and then you're like, I'm going to tell you why it's, kind of good. And then they're like, you doing okay, bud?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's that meme where it's the guy putting his hand on the other dude's shoulder. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went into it, man. I was fully prepared to give it like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Like I walked in thinking that's what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So pleasantly surprised.
Speaking of surprised.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be surprised at whatever film it is you decide to recommend.
No, you won't be. I've talked it up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people not seeing this film. We're watching Freaky Tales.
I knew it. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, we need a little bit of fluff after all.
That was a train that was honking its horn the entire way down the track.
Tell everyone watch this film and they go Freaky Tales and they're like, I don't know, that title's kind of off. We're watching fucking Freaky Tales. It could be a 40-minute conversation. I have to have people. People need to watch this movie.
I'll watch it.
They need to watch it.
You recommend it? I'll watch it.
So anything, let's think about pairing it, because I do think that there'd be a good pairing with it. But
lay it on me.
I don't know if there's anything out in theaters that we're getting close.
Let me see. I'm looking up theater show times.
The Bone Temple
right now.
looks pretty good.
When does that come out?
1/16.
So that probably won't be
till the next one.
Yeah.
I think it's 1/16. I just saw another trailer for it, and I'm like, I don't know how much like I didn't really care for the one I just saw. 28 years later.
Yeah.
28 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking 28s.
Could be the housemaid, Sydney Sweeney, popping off.
So it's 28 years later. I think it's on something. No, so here's what I'm saying, and we've talked. How much Tarantino have we talked? Kill Bills? Is that it?
The Kill Bills, and I think that's it.
So
in an official capacity.
In official capacity. Yeah. The Freaky Tales is it feels very Tarantino-esque.
Okay.
So an easy one of the two where you can kind of derive some of the blueprint from. Pulp Fiction or Inglourious Bastards.
Okay. I get my pick of those two.
Well, if we'd like to do it, I'm saying Freaky Tales is the wreck, and then I think one of those two would pair well with it. It's somewhat similar style.
Should we decide now or should we decide later?
Are you gonna pick?
I can give it a shot. I think Inglourious Bastards would be a lot of fun.
You want to talk Inglourious?
I want to talk Inglourious.
Let's do Inglourious, man.
All right, let's do it.
That's an easy watch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's I think number. We'll find out.
Awesome. So, Freaky Tales,
HBO Max.
Paired up with Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
This never usually happens where the recommendation is a newer movie and then the movie we pair up with it is like an older film. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
It's very unique. Very interesting.
Yeah. Very, very insightful.
Thank you.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's Freaky Tales is its own thing, but my dad, my old man, father, I watched it and I kind of told my brother, I was like, this is like synthwave meets Tarantino. And my dad, unprompted for him, compared it to a couple films. And I was like, you know what? I wonder, because I'm also looking at the inspiration of this thing. Like, are we going to be able to see some DNA from both of them? Or is Freaky Tales able to stand up on its own? Who knows?
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
So check those films out before episode 111.
How appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. How is it appropriate? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I just said it.
You just threw it out there to see how I would respond.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
It went well. It is exactly how yeah.
McLean, how do we send off this episode?
Can I do it
in the throes of death?
Can I do it like a WWTHD?
Bye, everyone. Was that you as Tarantino?
No, it's me as fucking Defoe, man.
That was your Defoe?
Is that you as Tarantino? Yeah, man. No.
WWTHD?
Yeah, but it's a little higher.
Is it though?
I think his voice is a little bit more shrill.
WWTHD. Now, see, I feel like I sound like fucking Michael Douglas from
The Game.
No, not The Game. Fucking
Green Eggs and Ham.
No, we talked about it with Matt Damon. What the fuck is it called?
Matt Damon?
Damon, Michael Douglas. He plays Liberace.
Matt Damon. Oh, Behind the Candelabra.
Yeah, I fucking sound like Michael Douglas from Behind the Candelabra.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Damn.
WWTHD.
Yeah, there you go. Add
Scott.
a little. Scott Thorson.
Come here, Scott.
Oh, God. Yeah, you do. That's right. And you thought that was Defoe.
Bye, everyone. The Neon Crew podcast is hosted by Kyle Yates and McLean Parker. Kyle, who is myself, also helps to produce, edit, and upload every episode. Our music was composed by Gideon Hunter. Our artwork was created by Lauren Hunter. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Episodes get scheduled to release every 2 weeks. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on various social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube community page for updates and information on upcoming episodes. Want to join the Neon Mafia? Head over to our shop page at etsy.com/shop/the Neon Crew Podcast for some quality, comfortable merch.